Can you talk a little bit more about your involvement in Channel 4? Is it Channel 4 that you worked there, and then bring up BNN? I just want to get more about your career and
Sure.
Yeah.
The way I got to Channel 4 was I had left Channel 2 in, I don't know, 87. No, I was at Say Brother till 86. 87, I worked on a special production unit. Then I left there, and I started my own production company with two friends,
Oh wow.
Beth and Paul Dare. We produced things on Cab Calloway.
Yep. Did you guys go to
Billie
Barbados
Holiday.
together?
We did Barbados Better Than Ever for the Board of Tourism. We did a lot of great stuff. And then while I was doing that, I got a call from Channel 4. I was referred to Channel 4 by a friend of mine who worked there by the name of Tanya Hart. And I went over there, and they said, we need a show doctor. So I said, a show doctor is someone that comes in, if your show is starting to falter, they're trying to save it.
Oh, okay.
So if it starts to falter, they need another producer to come in and try to get it to the point where people who in sales can sell commercials around it and keep your show on the air.
So you're like that glue that basically holds it all together.
You have to be a strong producer. You got to sort of whip people into shape that are not in the shape and tighten the show up. And just keep coming with hot stories. You know, you're doing a commercial pace now. It's a little bit different. And so that's what we did.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that for about 4 or 5 years.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
And I would say definitely, as you know, an upcoming producer myself, you definitely instilled that in us when you came to BNN, the Boston Neighborhood Network, to to be strong producers. So can you talk about your involvement at BNN and what you want your producers to learn?
Sure. Well, I got here because, it's not only what you know, as they say, it's who you know also.
Yeah.
Who you know got me to Channel 2, who I knew got me to Channel 4.
Yeah.
You got to be ready when you get there.
Yeah.
But who you know can help get you through the door.
Definitely.
So look for opportunities to network because that's going to matter in your career.
Yeah.
To help make your career. And that happens for all of us, not just me.
To make good relationships with people.
That's right. And don't burn bridges.
Yeah.
Don't think you don't ever have to go back across there, because you do. Okay. So don't burn bridges. Make sure you don't. So the other thing is BNN, I was doing some freelance work as a proposal writer and a theatrical director for the Park Arts Department in Boston, for the city of Boston. And one of the people there, Alden Marshall was my supervisor, and one of the people there said, we need to create a fundraiser for some people who were burned out of their houses and didn't have enough insurance to rebuild. And so what we'd like to do is create a fundraiser where we can help subsidize the money that they need to rebuild their homes. Okay. So would you go to BNN and ask Curtis Henderson, the general manager, if we can use BNN to do a telethon?
Oh, wow.
So I said, okay. I knew Curtis Henderson because when I was producing Say Brother, he was in a rock band.
What?
And so,
he had
long stringy hair, and he would sing rock. He was great.
Like stringy hair, like Rick James type of stringy hair?
Like Rick James, exactly.
I would have never imagined that. Wow.
And we were all young once. We were all young once.
Yeah, I love that. Wow.
And so that's how I knew Curtis. So when I got there, we were like, hey, how you doing? It was nice to see each other. And I told him what my mission was. He said, sure, we can come and produce a telethon. And he said, but what are you doing?
Yeah.
So I told him what I was doing. I was freelancing at the City of Boston's Park Arts Department, and I was directing plays, creating a theater company, and working with young students and writing proposals. He said, why don't you come over here to BNN and teach for me? I said, I've never taught before. I don't have a teaching certificate.
Yeah.
He said, no, just teach what you've done in television.
But you probably were teaching all along, Barbara, but you didn't even know that you were. Like, I'm pretty positive when you were at, like...
Well, when I was working with the kids in theater company, I was teaching.
Yeah, but I mean, like, even though you don't have a certificate, I feel like just being part of a team with you, you always are telling people how they could be better. So you probably were teaching. You didn't
I could have been. You might be right. So what we did is I went through an interview with Curtis and Jim Atwood.
Yep.
And...
in 2001, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And then they hired me in October of 2001.
Mm-hmm.
And I came here, and first I ran the education department.
Mm-hmm.
And that worked out for a little while. And then the community met with Curtis and decided that they wanted, we had two locations then, one downtown at the transportation building
Yeah.
and one in the Roxbury Mall.
So you would go between two
No,
locations?
I worked downtown.
Okay.
And then the community met with Curtis and said, we would like, they knew me from Say Brother, we would like Barbara up in Roxbury to work in the studio with the black community.
Yeah.
And I said, as what? And Curtis said, the position is studio manager.
Yeah.
I said, well, what is that? What do they do? And he said, well, they manage the studio. They make sure all the equipment is operating. They work on all the technical aspects of television. I said, that's not me. I don't know how to do that. Because on television and broadcast, you're on one side of the union or the other. You're a producer, writer, director, or you're a technician engineer.
Yeah, everything's assigned. You're not just...
You're in a union.
Yeah.
You're in unions. So you just don't, you can't cross. So I never got to learn that.
Yeah.
So even when I went to college, everything was theoretical, but it was based on being a producer. It was production oriented. It was not technically oriented.
Yeah.
So
were you a little nervous about that?
I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
It was like 12 people at the table, and they were talking to us about doing that. And I said, well, I don't really want to do that.
Yeah.
And they said, well, we really need you to do that. I said, but I don't want to do that. So Curtis was getting ready to take me to dinner anyway.
Yeah.
He said, well, let's talk about it at dinner. I said, okay. So we talked about it at dinner, and he said, if you just do it for 6 months, that will appease the community, and maybe we can move you around after that. I said,
just
okay,
to try it out.
6
It's like
months.
a trial.
6 months. So 6 months, that's 13 years ago.
Yeah. So you loved it.
Right?
This
So
child's been going great.
Well, it worked out. I mean,
Yeah.
I love the people in my own community. I know them. They know me.
Yeah.
We trust one another. I try to give people what they need and what they want.
And you've been doing
And
that for so long,
I
too.
turned out to love teaching.
Yeah.
See, that was a component that I didn't realize I had to do. Jeanette would made me aware that I had to do that.
Yeah.
And I absolutely loved it. You know, I created a curriculum. The curriculum was based on real television, not theory, but what it really takes. And they had some kind of a program, but I just blew it out and made it real television introduction, basic introduction. And I was working with a guy who used to work at Channel 5 whose name was Keith Williams, and he did the technical part for me.
Okay.
And then I did the producing, writing, and directing and the hosting part.
Wow.
And so that's how we taught it. And that's how we continue to teach it. Now, the guy that's doing that with me now is Leroy McLaren. He's the main one.
Yes.
And he also came from Channel 5. In fact, he had been Keith's supervisor. In fact, when Keith decided he wanted to leave, he asked his guy, his former boss, to come and work with me. So I wasn't just left without somebody that I knew as a technician to help teach and also run the studio.
Yeah.
So basically, I do administrative work here, and I'm the head instructor, and I produce, and I try to help executive produce people, even though I'm not their executive producer.
Yeah.
I try to help guide people in terms of bettering their programs.
And you do that so well. I mean, I wouldn't have a show without your guidance. So I thank you immensely from the bottom of my heart. You put a lot of confidence in people. And, you know, sometimes, like, there could be times where you're a little rough on us, but it's because you want us to go to our full potential. And
I do.
And I recognize that
I
now.
do.
When I first started as an intern, I used to be, like, so nervous. I used to be like, oh, my gosh, I got to do it perfectly, or Barbara's not going to like this. So I'm glad that you're so tough on us.
You learned well.
Yeah.
Because I would have never done this interview if I didn't think you knew what you were doing.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, that means a lot. So we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more to Barbara and find out a little bit more about what's next. Okay, if you could describe Miss B in 3 adjectives, what would that be?
Crazy, funny, and fierce, phenomenal, determined. Oh wait, that's 4. Oh yeah. See, she just has endless. She has a lot ways that we could describe her. Yeah. She's just a great mentor to have, especially for all of us. She's always there for us to give us the advice, to help us with our shows. What else? You could just hang out with her. We were recently at the beach.
We was at the beach with her. She was fun. But I mean, it's just, you can't really explain Miss B. It's just that, like Erica said, she's actually a fabulous mentor for us. She actually lets us know how hard it is, and she doesn't take any shorts with us. Like, when I say that, she treats us almost like we're her kids.
Yeah, she tells us like it is.
And she doesn't hit us, but she doesn't play. Like, she wants what she wants when she wants it.
You can always rely on her to be honest with you. And that's what you need. You need someone that's gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah, if it's nasty, she's gonna be like, look,
you don't want somebody telling you yes all the time, especially when you're not doing it the right way.
That's a good word to explain her. She's not a yes person. She's that person that you want on your team that tells you, no, I don't like it. No, you look crazy. No. Now, if it's good, she'll say yes. If it's bad, she'll say it's bad and fix it.
Yeah.
She's actually really nice in real life. Like, for real life, like, not...
She's like a little kid inside.
She is, like she's youthful at heart. Even though she's 60-something. She's very...
She surrounds herself with young,
fabulous
people like us.
People. I think if people was to see her, like, at home, like, watching the Bearstein Bears... Like, they would be all like when I first started doing it, I was like, Yeah. But, like, to be totally honest, like, she is a sweet, giving person.
She is.
She lets us mooch off her Dunkin' Donuts
really
cards. Like, she buys us food. She
really does.
She's like a second mom. She's very motherly. And I think people just don't understand that just from seeing her here, being and cussing them out and making sure that paperwork's in on time.
Thank you for everything that you've given us.
Most definitely.
Welcome us with open arms.
Thanks for giving us a chance when nobody else would.
Yeah, that's another thing.
They never, she was kind of iffy about it, though, to be totally real. She was very iffy about it. But she actually did give us a chance, and we do appreciate her for that. And she allowed us to get our feet wet so that we can kick open any other doors we need.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us back on Farenheight TV. We are here with the phenomenal queen, Barbara Barrow Murray. So, Barbara, it's been about 40 years and counting in this industry. Has there ever been a time that you felt you wanted to quit at all? Has there ever been a tough time for you?
Well, yeah, I've had tough times like anybody else, but not quit. I had an experience when I first came into WGBH. I met a switchboard operator. Her name was Rose.
Yeah.
She said that she was going to retire in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They had this big party for her, gave her a gold watch. And I said, what are you going to do now? She said, I'm going to go home and watch TV. She went home and retired and watched TV for 2 weeks, and then she died. I don't want any part of that.
Oh, my
so
God.
I will never retire.
Yeah.
I want to be like my mentor who was on the phone 12 o'clock midnight, the time she died. She called a friend of mine, a colleague, Sarah Ann Shaw, who also has an incredible television career, and said, call me back on her voicemail. Call me back as soon as you come in. I don't care what time it is.
Yeah.
Sarah Ann Shaw said she got home about 1 o'clock. She called back. There was no answer. When she got over there in the morning, Miss Lewis had died. She died working. That's my point. She died working.
So you
right up to 12, I'm going out like that.
Yeah.
So
you want to go out and do what you love.
And so this is what I'll be doing. Even if I die with the phone in my hand at the desk and I freak out everybody, I'm going to die working.
Okay.
I don't intend to retire like that. That's not me.
Will you be at least relaxed while you're working?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt it. I think I'll be able, when I leave here, which will be not too long from now, because I've been here a long time now.
Yeah.
And when I leave from here, I'm going to be running my own production company.
Awesome.
I'm also working in wellness products.
Yes.
And I'm going to be doing that. And that's what I'm going to be doing.
So you always have a plan. After one chapter ends, you start a new one.
You go to the next one.
I love that. So if you had a time machine, Barbara, and you had to pick any one moment to go back and relive, what would you choose? That's a hard question, I know.
I really don't know. I really don't know. Probably, well, I have a couple of them. Of course, my son, the delivery part was rough. So,
I believe you, yeah. I don't think anybody wants to relive
the delivery part, but
Yeah.
when they put the baby in my arms, that point.
Yeah.
And also the night I won the 2 Emmys at the same time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Okay.
Okay, and so what would your advice be to anyone who wants to get into this industry? Because as you talked about today, it's not easy, especially if you want to do it all. So what would you say to us young grasshoppers that want to get into this?
Do you want me to talk to you or to the viewers?
To both of us.
Okay, I'll go back and forth between the camera and you.
Okay.
The first thing I want to say is that this is no joke. It's a serious, serious, serious game.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in doing this work, please make sure that it is a priority and that you put all the other stuff away and this becomes your life. You have to eat it, drink it, sleep it, walk it, talk it, and you have to finally do it. It's not a joke. It's a serious business like many other businesses out here, and the competition now is incredible. Wow. So that's what I have to say to everybody. Well,
Barbara, I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for doing this interview. Again, I feel so lucky. I was so nervous to ask you, but you have such a humble and colorful spirit that I admire, and I'm sure you have thousands and thousands of fans out there. And 7 Emmys, 27 nominations. You're a mother who raised a young, proud intellect. I mean, you've done it all, and I really want to thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us on Farenheight TV.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, sweetheart. Okay.
Thank you. Well, Farenheight TV, if you want to learn more about this amazing woman, you could reach her here at the Boston Neighborhood Network, and you can become a producer yourself if you're interested. So thank you so much again for joining us on another episode with the phenomenal queen, and I hope you have a wonderful night.